What else do I say?
You can say what you're going to be talking about. I just want everybody to get to know each other a little bit.
I had a serious car crash, and my talk is about never giving up. Like, I learned to walk again, I learned to talk, I learned to eat, everything again. So it's just perseverance and never giving up.
Awesome. So, Tashini, introduce yourself.
First of all, Kelly, that was incredible that you've gone through that experience, and oh my gosh, so I'm blown away from hearing that. So my name is Tashini. I am a Chinese medicine doctor. So I'm also a global energetic specialist in fertility and women's health. So are we all going to be on the Her Story talk speakers?
Not everyone. Linda's going to be on. You are on. I'm not sure who else will show up tonight.
Okay, amazing. Well, my talk's going to be on awakening womb wisdom. So I'm going to go into depths about what's inside the womb and how it's connected to the cosmos and connected to Mother Earth. So it's super, super exciting.
Wonderful. Good to see you on the call, Tashini. Linda.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Just finished up the birthday, and it was, 2-year birthday, my son. So it was
yes, happy birthday. Oh, that's so sweet.
And you should see his face when he got his electric car, it just dropped everything, and he was like, it was so cute.
Aww,
that's so beautiful.
So cute.
Too cute. That's wonderful. Just say where you're based, Linda. Say a little bit about yourself, about your talk.
Okay, so I'm Linda Ho. I'm actually German, but I'm based in New Zealand. And my talk is about how to catch Mr. Right and keep him. Because I had picking the wrong ones, and being very stuck on certain cultures or certain way of people looking. And end up meeting and marrying a culture I was least expecting. But I found my Mr. Right, and now having a family.
Wonderful.
Because a lot of those lessons I learned in the spiritual path, and then I learned them again through NLP and timeline therapy and all of those things, and really about how to take responsibility for yourself, and that we attract what we are, and really need to focus on what we want and listen to that inner wisdom, because we all got it. We just somewhere along the way learned to stop listening to it, and just to remind that we need to back listen to that, because it will guide us no matter where we want to go.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda.
What was the background of your partner then? If you married someone from a different culture?
So he is born in Hong Kong, and I was living twice with Chinese people, and German and Chinese is just like total opposite, right? If there's like one culture I really don't like, it's Chinese people. Like the way, I don't know, like I just couldn't like wrap my head around it. But I remember like the last time I moved out of this Chinese flatmate situation, I was like, come on God, please give me a reason to like Chinese people, because I'm sure they're not all like this. And fair enough, short after I met my husband, and because he was so brown, he was so dark, he didn't even look like Chinese, so I thought he was
And now you're happily married with 2 babies, which is awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
No regrets, really, no regrets.
Love it. Thanks, Linda.
No worries.
Hey, Rose, it's good to see you on the call. How are you?
Gertrude, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I am awesome, awesome, awesome.
Fabulous.
Tell everybody where you're based. Tell us a bit about you. I want everybody to get to know each other.
Hi, everyone. I'm May Rose from the Gold Coast in Australia, Queensland, if you want an exact address. And I'm actually a naturopath and a coach. And I'll be talking basically about people who've had a problem with agoraphobia. Naris, hello. agoraphobia and introversy who didn't have a voice, and people who grew up in our age group who weren't encouraged, particularly women who weren't encouraged to have a voice and speak up. And so they've missed out on careers and opportunities, but it's still okay, as old ducks are still successful at our age. So I really love encouraging people to let go of all that and just jump in, boots and all, and live till you die.
Oh, I love that. Awesome philosophy to live by. Lovely to see you on the call.
Yes, I'm excited.
Awesome. Who else have we got? We've got Tembani. Say hi to everybody. Is your sound working? Okay, let's go to Brenda. Brenda, we can't see you. So if you are on video, do switch on your video so everybody can connect with you and say hi. Hey. We can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
I'm Brenda Denveston. I'm in Melbourne, Australia. I've got a little passenger here that I'll need to take care of. So I'm really excited to be part of her circle movement, association by proximity. I'm keen to share my story. I want to empower women to move from being unseen to being visibly impacting. So still working through my my framework and my message, and really looking forward to what you have to offer today.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on the call. This is awesome. Right. Tammy, do you want to jump in there and say hi? Or Ruth, one of you can jump in. Ruth Dengwani, unmute, come on video. There we go. And Sophia, I can see you're on the call as well. Ruth, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ruth. I am based in Harare in Zimbabwe. And my story is about giving voice to the African widow. Because it's a patriarchal society and the man's word goes. So when a husband dies, the family takes over and all decisions are made by the men in the family. So my story is about that and empowering the women to find their voices and to empower them economically so they can take care of their families.
Awesome. Good to see you on the call, Ruth. And if anybody's looking for a virtual assistant, any help with social media, Ruth is my go-to woman. She helps me with everything to do with her story. So before we leave, Ruth, put your email in the chat so everybody can connect with you as well. Who else do we have? Sophia, you're out walking in the dark somewhere.
Yes. Hello.
Hey.
It's so lovely to meet you all. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good to see you.
Hello. I'm in Warwick in regional Queensland, Australia. And I'll try and get someone like there's no light. I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner and an absolute lover of the artist's way. And I help women to break free from overeating because this is a struggle that I had for many, many years of my life. And I've created a program that I'm launching in September that I'm so excited about, which helps women to learn how to work with their mind, connect in with their body, and listen to their soul so they can break free from overeating and have their cake and eat it too. So for most of my life, I didn't ask for what I truly wanted. I betrayed myself, and this caused so many problems for me. So I've learned now how to ask for what I want and know that I can have it. And that's my story.
Awesome. Good to see you, Sophia. Welcome to the call.
Thank
Right.
you.
Let's jump to Tembi. Tembani, do you want to unmute and say hi? And then Narissa, I think you'll finish off.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tembani.
me, I am in Zimbabwe. I am a mom of two. I'm also an education and development practitioner. I'm currently teaching French to boys at, well, it's now not an all-boys school. I'm also passionate about women's rights and the children, especially the disadvantaged ones. And it's a pleasure to be on board.
Fantastic. Lovely to see you.
Thank
Narissa, hey, good to see you. Introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, lovely to see you all. Lovely to see May as well again and connect with her. May and I go back away. We met earlier this year, so it's so lovely to see you again and be part of your story as well.
That's awesome.
It's always nice when you see a familiar face on another journey again with you. So
You're
lovely
supposed to be on this call.
Yeah, and so nice to meet all you other women over there all across. I'm from Sydney in New South Wales. A very cold night today, so sitting inside with the heater on. My story is about, or my theme for my talk is called Growing Through. Whenever we get to something, we always hear people talk about going through it, but my theme is about growing through it. And it's about understanding your authentic self, because unless you have an understanding and awareness of who you are, and you can be congruent with who you are from within, it's only then that you can empower and enlighten other people and help them. So my story is about finding your true self and empowering other women to do that, and then talking into how you can change challenges and turn them into opportunities.
Fantastic. Welcome to the call. That was great, everybody. Good round one. Now, in future, every single time we start with a coaching session, I want you to give me your elevator pitch. I'm going to give each of you feedback based on what you did just now. Every speaking opportunity, you need to encapsulate who you are in 2 minutes. So when I ask you to introduce yourself, that's what you're supposed to do. What you've been practicing and rehearsing as your elevator pitch is what I want to hear. Linda, you were great. Love your energy. Waffled a little bit too much. And you left people hanging. So Tashini asked you, so what ethnicity is your husband? You kind of dangled this little carrot. So you've got to try and say everything in 2 minutes, okay? That's the trick. So that's one for you. Tashini, you were great. I do want you to personalize your pitch a little bit more. You do come off as being very academic and distant. So how did you come upon what you do as your vocation? Why are you passionate about women's womb health? And I know you have a powerful story to share. Don't be scared to share it, because the thing that happens is people will relate to you more when they hear your personal story. Okay? But I just love the way you package yourself. Just make it more personal right in the beginning, because remember how I said the first 30 seconds of every presentation counts? Unless you can hook us in and suck us into that story in the beginning, you lose people. By the time you finish your 15 minutes, people are already thinking of something else. Kelly, much improved. I just love your energy, your enthusiasm. I know the challenges that you've gone through, and for you to be on this call, I know just how special this is. And what inspires me about you is that you just don't stop. I mean, this girl will hound me whether I want to be hounded or not. I get 5, 6 emails from Kelly asking questions. Keep doing it. And I told you, you have a powerful, powerful story to share. And I can see you doing your TED Talk and just transforming thousands of young people's lives, so that everything you went through wasn't for nothing. So just hold on to that, okay? Let me go to May Rose. Again, love your energy, love what you bring to the table, but personalize it. So rather start it with a personal story of how you got on this journey. Same thing with you, Ruth. I know your story, but every single time I ask you to share, you go around in circles and then you kind of touch on it towards the end. So tell us exactly what happened. We're going to be speaking at this conference starting tomorrow. So ladies, we have got to be prepared at every single moment. Tambi, same thing with you. I know you have a powerful story, but you kind of skirt around it. Get straight to the point. Tell us what happened and then unpack it from there. And Brenda, again, I still don't get an essence of who you are or what the real story is. So we're going to need to tighten up and improve that. And Sophia, excellent. Sophia has been emailing me as well. I think I've reviewed 3 or 4 of her videos this week alone. She will do a video. I'll send her quick feedback. She'll re-record it. I'll send her quick feedback. Excellent. You're really coming across strong. And the way you tied up this little presentation with "Have Your Cake and Eat It," that's the title of her book. Beautiful. I just love what you're doing. It's a pity you weren't on screen and we couldn't really see you clearly, but I know I told you to jump on the call at the last minute. So it's really great that you're here. So tonight, I want to give you guys an essence of what we will do with our coaching sessions every single time we meet. So every single meeting, you've got to improve. You've got to improve. You've got to really push up your game. Now, we are going to be starting the coaching with Alex. And Brenda, I added you to the call because I don't have enough people in the silver group. So you're going to be one of those lucky people who gets the $1,000 coaching just for showing up. Congratulations. But let me show you what we're going to be doing with Alex. And he's told me to prepare you for our first meeting with him on the 8th. I want you guys to think and get really clear where you want to be a year from now. I want you to project how much you want to earn as a speaker, whether it's through doing webinars, doing live presentations, doing presentations online on virtual platforms. Write down a monetary figure of what you want to try and achieve and why. Because if you don't have a big enough reason, you won't get there. And if you don't have a figure, it's like putting a ship on a course without a destination. It will never get there. So what is your income going to look like a year from now, 6 months from now? Let's go 6 months because we've got 6 months coaching with him. So that's number 1. He is going to email through. I was hoping he would have sent it through, but we have some pre-coaching homework to do between now and the 8th. And he's asked me just to share the process that he's going to take us through from beginning to end. If I haven't emailed this diagram to you, let me know. I thought I sent it to everybody, but I might have made a mistake. So this is what Alex is going to be taking us through. His Clear Path Coaching engages with marketers, authors, speakers, coaches, high performance people who want to double their profits in 4 to 6 months. So we have them for 6 months without spending $1 on marketing or advertising costs. So Alex is really good at showing you alternative ways of creating clients, keeping them engaged. Incredible human being. I mean, some of the stuff that I learned from him 10 years ago when I first had contact with him made it possible for me to fly to Los Angeles every month end to have coaching with him. So the requirements are for each ideal candidate to generate $250,000 to $2.5 million a year. And this man is not joking. He can help you reach that mark. He helped me turn my recruiting business upside down. The things that he's going to focus on, or the purpose or the mission, is for us to get clarity on how to maximize on our client lifetime values. Now, when I first started working with Alex, I realized that I knew a lot of people I had sold things to before, I had had interactions with before. It's always easier to go back to people you've dealt with before to enroll them in business than to create new clients. So all of you are probably already sitting on money that you aren't even aware of. I want you, as part of the homework, to go back and make lists of all of your previous clients, people you've worked with intimately, people who you've gone to work with, people you're in a social networking group with. Start listing potential people who could become clients of yours. And you always started with your inner circle, your friends, and extend it to clients that you have serviced before and go further than that. And again, getting clear who your target market is going to be. The other thing that he talks about is the significance recognized by industry leaders and the growth that you can gain with no additional marketing costs. So this is part of what he does really well. He shows you how to get into affiliate marketing arrangements where there could be somebody who has a database. Like when I met Tashini in Melbourne, we met at a gym. You remember? I had gone to a presentation with a common somebody who knows you and knows me. And he said, Gertrude, you've got to come and meet this young lady. I'm doing a presentation. And this man does personal development coaching, but he teams up with gyms. He found a way to talk to a lady who had a chain of gyms in Melbourne. And because that lady has got his target market, which was women, he would do these presentations in conjunction with her. How often do they do it, Tashini?
I'm not sure. I think every couple of months.
Maybe a couple of months or every month. But because he's not in competition with the gym owner, she's willing to open up her database, promote his coaching, knowing that she's actually adding value to her clients' lives. So creating these alliance partnerships where you're not paying for advertising, where it's a win-win situation for you and the other person. So start thinking about if you know somebody who's an accountant, a financial planner, a lawyer, a gym owner, people who have existing databases that might have your target market. So the execution of this whole thing is, he will first help us build our curriculum design, content repurposing. Remember how I told you that if you've got a book, you can repurpose your content, you can turn it into a workshop, you can turn it into a workbook. I'll be talking about books in a few minutes because I know some of you have already started. How to get high-end sales. Since I started working with Alex about 3-4 weeks ago, I kind of knew my value. I knew how much I'm worth. I knew how much I bring to the table. And when I met Brenda was one of the first people who came on my calls. My speaking program was $397. She was one of the first 20 people to buy it at that level. After a week, I doubled it. By the third week, it was $1,000. Now that program, Brenda, that you got for $397 is now worth $3,000. And this is three weeks later. It's the same content, but I didn't see the value. I just thought, okay, this is knowledge that I have. Let me put it out there. Let me test the market. But I kept putting up my price every week and people are still buying it, which goes to show that I have really good content. And I also sold, I think now 3 $10,000 packages, which I think are really worth 15 to 25. Alex showed me my value and how to get those high-end sales. So imagine in a month, if you could get 10 clients who are willing to pay you $10,000 each. What I've learned in the last 3 weeks is that these people are out there. I just wasn't seeing my own value. And Alex taught me in the last 3 weeks that selling to someone something that's worth $100 is the same as selling something that's worth $10,000 if you know what you're doing. And this is something else that he brings to the table. Creating those captivating presentations, that's something else we're going to be focused on with this training, and making an irresistible offer at the end to get people to a point where they really feel, gosh, I want to push up my game. I really want to work with Gertrude, or I want to work with Tashini, or I want to work with May Rose. making people really feel that what you bring to the table is irresistible, they need your help, and you are going to give them that value. So those are the things that Alex will help us execute so we can double our profits. So the first thing that he does is this process number 1, where he assesses where you are now and really gets you to see where you are right now in terms of your business, your speaking, your coaching, your books if you're an author. And then during this 2 to 3 hour deep dive, he literally takes your business to pieces and shows you what can be done with that business before we get into the next meeting. So from process 1 to process 5, it's just step by step the contact we'll have. And like I said, I've paid him $30K. You guys are going to shadow him coaching me. I will videotape everything. You can attend all of the sessions. So I will send you the time that he gives me for next week on the 8th of this month. I think it's either the 7th or the 8th. I have to double check because of the conversion. So he's based in LA. If he says the 7th, it's the 8th for us in this part of the world. And of course, you know what the investment was the $30K. And that's what he would normally sell his clients, but he's doing this specifically to help me and to help my clients. So please grab all the opportunities you can. If you feel that throughout the coaching, there's something you're not sure about, don't be afraid to ask. If you hold back asking and think, oh, my question might be silly, you're doing a disservice to yourself, because this man can really help you move your game from where you are to where you want to go. Now, for people like Ruth, for people like Temani, I know that you're in Zimbabwe. I know that things are tough there right now. There is so much that can be done online right now. So much. You know, the coaching that you're doing with French. I was talking to Ruth the other day that I was approached by some Chinese woman on LinkedIn asking if I wanted to teach English. So because a lot of English-speaking people can't go to China, all these Chinese English schools are looking for tutors online, and people are willing to pay. So think about what you're currently doing and how you can expand it. Ruth, your virtual assistant services, you should be at a point now where you're recruiting other people to do what you do and build a whole team and manage that team. So I really want you guys to think outside the box so that besides your personal story and how you're going to share it, take it a step further and see yourself employing 10, 15 people who can help you scale. Because when you want to scale, it's not you doing the job on your own. It's you introducing other people so they can do the job with you. Does that make sense? So let's just unmute and talk about the homework that I sent everybody so far in terms of getting clear about your idea worth spreading. Did everybody get it, and who hasn't received that yet? Sophia, Linda, Tashini, Ruth, Tembi, I sent it to you, right? Tembani?
You did, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
Got the one with the TED Talk thing? That was that
yes,
one? That
yes.
one? Okay.
Yeah, so it's the TED Talk document. So Ruth just put in the chat so I can remember who doesn't have it. Yeah, you do have it. That's what
yeah,
sharing.
it's the document I filled out.
Yes.
Yep,
yes.
thank you. Yes, I've got it. Yes.
I think Brenda, you have it. Okay, so it's Ruth and
I don't think I have it.
Okay, May Rose, Ruth, and Linda. All right, just put that in the chat, Ruth, so that after this meeting I'll take you through it. But we're going to go through it now. And as I go through it, if you are stuck somewhere, if there's something you're not clear about, let's have that conversation now, because this is really the document where you're refining what is your idea worth spreading and how you're going to hit upon that idea. So I will share my screen so that I can take you through my TED application. So you will actually receive my TED application and use it as a model to put together yours. They ask you for your name, your date of birth. That is fairly standard. They ask you for your online presence. Make sure that if you say that I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, YouTube, you're giving them links that have current information. So don't go and give them a link to a Facebook page and you've never posted anything in the last 3 years. They want to see how active you are. They want to see how engaged you are with your community. So you would rather not give them a link unless you are current. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So all of your social media presence. And if you're not on some of these social media platforms, I suggest you get onto them, but choose the ones that you really like to work on. Like, for example, Facebook is fairly easy. I'm terrible at Instagram, but I know the younger people like Instagram. So choose the platform that you like to work on. And if you, for instance, don't like Twitter, we can show you how to automate what you post on Facebook so it goes out on Twitter. Does that make sense? Make it easy for yourselves. There is a piece of software called Hootsuite. And on that platform, you can post something and it will take it to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You'll distribute your content across all of your social media platforms. The next thing they want is the link to all of your websites. So I've listed my 3 websites. Your company or organization. So even if you don't have a company of your own, make sure that you include other organizations that you might be involved in. So you might be part of a Rotary Club or a Lions Club or some kind of social networking organization. You can list those there as well. Your photographs. I talked during the webinar that a lot of people don't get found online because they don't optimize their photographs so they can be found. So if you go into Google and you type in Gertrude Mache, you will find hundreds of pictures of me. You'll find hundreds of references about me. That's because when I get invited to do a conference, you have to send them your bio, you have to send them your photo. Make sure that you rename the photograph with your file name. Because when search engines are looking for people, they cannot see images. They only see words. So when you take a picture with your phone, it just creates random numbers. Make sure you rename the file. When you give it to anybody, the photograph has to have your name. So if you go into Google Images, you're going to find hundreds of photos of me. I've done that deliberately when I'm invited to do podcasts, when I'm invited to speak. I give people my photo, but I make sure I've optimized my name. So I always give them a folder, a Google Drive folder with multiple pictures of me, wearing different outfits, speaking on stage. You don't know what photo will resonate with them. If you're going to give them a headshot, I'm going to recommend that you invest in getting a photographer to take some professional photos of you. That is really important. Invest in that money. I know, Tashini, you just did an amazing photo shoot. And that photographer captured the essence of who you are. You were wearing different kaftans, not kaftans, saris. Beautiful. So make sure that you show the TED organizers yourself in different settings and wearing different outfits. Give them pictures that they can choose from, because there could be something that they see that's in line with the theme of their conference in terms of how you're dressed. You're speaking.
Can I just ask, please, when you say the theme of the conference, how do we find out what that theme is to align our content?
On every TED website, when they advertise a TED event, there is a theme. They will say the theme of the conference is.
Okay.
While we're speaking, I might just find a few TED events and I'll show you. But every TED event has got a specific theme. And so when you're pitching your presentation, make sure you pitch to their theme. I'm going to ask all of you guys to mute yourselves unless you need to speak, because I'm getting some feedback. Thank you. Yeah, so it's really important because sometimes people apply to TED events. They don't do their homework. They don't read what the theme of that conference is. then they get rejected and they think, oh, they didn't like me. But what they forget is that you didn't pitch yourself to the theme of the conference. So you're not being turned down because you're not good. It's because you're not paying attention to the theme of that particular conference. So you need to do your research and really investigate on the website that you're applying what the theme is going to be. They ask for your email, your phone number. Those are really standard. Your industry or occupation. Make sure that this talks to your content as well. So if you're an author, if you're a speaker, if you're an entrepreneur, make sure that you're putting those. If you speak around healthcare, like Sophia, for instance, you talk around food, it could be health and wellness. Make sure that you specify that in the industry. Your bio. This bio is about 140 words. 139 words. I always say, have 3 bios ready at all times. Have one that's just 50 words, have one that's 150 or less, and have one that's 250. So that you're always ready. Again, it's like doing that elevator speech. What can you add? So my 50-word bio reads, Gertrude is an inspirational speaker who's been described as a vibrant bundle of African energy, whose zest and passion for life inspires everyone she meets. She's passionate about helping people achieve their full potential and find their individual life purpose. So find words that can just, in an instant, describe who you are with just 50 words. Your proposed idea. This is now the idea that you're working on. The first module of the speaking is about to start going out tomorrow. So you're going to get a series of videos that are going to help you refine what is your proposed speech. I've taken you step by step on how you can get there. So I had been working on this proposed speech months ago, before COVID-19. And when I got my TED presentation opportunities, this speech didn't tie into the theme of the 2 conferences. So I parked it and I left it. And now with COVID-19, I'm trying to find a way to revive this and pitch this for the next conference. So my proposed idea is when we get cut, every white blood cell in our body rushes to the site of injury to heal. As human beings, we should be responding to the world's problems in this way. So I'm now tying in the Ubuntu philosophy, the fact that we are one as a human race, that we are an organism, and we should be reacting and responding to each other, and especially in light of COVID-19. Right now, if one of us is not okay, we're all not okay. So this is going to tie in beautifully to what's currently happening. So sometimes you might want to pitch your TED talk to what is happening in the environment at that moment in time. And that's what I'm doing with this next talk. Why does this idea matter to you? And why are you passionate about it? So I always talk about experiencing Ubuntu in Africa and experiencing extreme loneliness out of Africa, and how the Ubuntu philosophy is a way of living. It's a way of life. It's a way of being. And if I could teach this to people in the Western world, I think my job on this earth will be done, because there's so much disconnection. There's so much loneliness. There's sometimes a lack of empathy. How can I infuse this in where I'm living to help change the world in some way? And that's why I'm passionate about this. How is this a new idea? Your idea doesn't have to be new. Mine is an old ancient philosophy, but I'm trying to bring it to mainstream society. So I said, if Africa is the cradle of humanity, its philosophy should serve all of us. So if what you're teaching isn't new, show how you are bringing it to the modern world. And if it is new, tell us why it's so different. Your proposed title of the talk. It has to be short, it has to be to the point, it has to be quirky or different. Sophia, tell us your proposed talk, because I think you've really nailed it.
It's how to have your cake and eat it.
So Sophia's talking all about food and overeating and how she overcame that. And now she can have her cake and eat it. So beautiful, beautiful title. It makes people think, it makes people curious. What is this about? I really love how you've hit on that. And that's going to be the title of your book, correct? Awesome. Kelly, what is the title of your book and your presentation? Unmute.
Yeah. It's My Drive to Survive.
My Drive to Survive. So Kelly is talking about her accident, her car accident. And although she lost all her faculties, she lost her speech, she lost her ability to walk, her drive to survive literally kept her going. And here she is sharing her story. And that's going to be the title of her book. So let's just pause a little bit and talk about titles and just go around the room. Because what I found is when we share each other's titles, somebody else might hear something that can help them refine their own title. Linda, you've got an excellent title. Just share what your title is again.
Everyone Deserves a Joe.
So Linda's title is very quirky. When you first hear it, you have no idea what she's talking about. What she's doing is what's called disruptive marketing, where you come in with a title that's so weird. Everybody's like, what, Joe? What is she talking about? So she draws you in with curiosity. And then when she starts unpacking what the presentation is about, you realize, oh, she's talking about her husband. The husband's name was Joe. It's all about love and finding love. So disruptive marketing is very, very effective. I want you guys to all Google an author by the name of Seth Godin. He is a marketing genius. All of Seth Godin's books have got very unusual titles. The one book that made me aware of him was called The Purple Cow. And this book literally has a purple cow with black and white dots. Unusual. I mean, when you listen, if you hear the title, The Purple Cow, you're like, what the hell is that? And it's actually a book about standing out and being unusual. It's all about marketing and how to stand out in the marketing world. So Seth Godin has actually branded himself using these unusual titles. So that could be something else that you could do, to use disruptive marketing and brand yourself just based on the quirkiness of the titles of your presentations. Does that make sense? Who else would like to share the title of their presentation? May Rose, have you thought of yours yet?
One of them I'm working on is The Unlikely Speaker, From Silence to Significance.
Nice.
About learning how to speak up.
Very nice. That's a book title.
Thank you.
That is awesome. And can you see how self-explanatory her title is? Say it again.
The Unlikely Speaker, From Silence to Significance.
So I can actually see a whole coaching program going with that.
That's what I was hoping, yeah.
Yes. Those people who've never used their voices would be your target market, who've been silently sitting in the background. They've reached a point in their lives where they're thinking, damn, I need to use my voice. I need to step up. You will hook those people in with that title very easily. It's beautiful.
Wow, thank you. Great.
I love it.
Very encouraging. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to sink my teeth into that one. Yes, Tashini.
So should I create something a bit more, like mine's called Awakening Womb Wisdom. How does that resonate with people?
So let's just brainstorm Tashini's title. Say it again.
Awakening
Womb Wisdom. And give us a subtitle to it so people can get the essence or the context of it.
I've written them down. I can't remember.
But it's all about how women need to learn to tune into their wombs and understand that a lot of our decisions are intuitive. They come from our gut and the power of a woman's womb in that sense. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So if you were just to say that title without explaining it, it doesn't really explain what the presentation is going to be about, right? So what might be needed is maybe to throw in the words like intuition, awakening womb wisdom, to learn how to tap into a woman's intuition. So you might have to throw in a few key words that unpack what awakening womb wisdom is. Does that make sense?
Or should I have it with what I wrote the book about, which was Awaken and Heal Your Womb?
Awaken and Heal Your Womb is another one. So what did you focus that book on? Was it about intuition? Was it about infertility? Tell me a little bit more.
Both. So pretty much how to connect to your menstrual cycle, so understanding our period blood, our menstrual blood, and how that connects to the earth and the moons and all of that. Also with fertility, so it's a subcategory. It takes you through the different stages of a woman's life and how to use the wisdom of the womb to take us in as that inner guidance system, because the womb is separate to the brain. So it's going into that actual primal voice of our bodies, which is the womb.
Right. Brainstorm, people. We need ideas, because we're going to do this with each of you who's kind of trying to figure out how to perfect your title. Any ideas? Anybody?
Something about, because the womb has a wisdom, and it's like ancient, right? Like from back in the day, like the deep wisdom from our ancestors, like, I don't know, like mysterious ancient wisdom, how you connect to your ancient wisdom womb, or how you awaken that part. Because I think it speaks about like the deep knowingness, what probably like so many tribes teaching, because they know this is what is like passed down from generation to generation, which the Western world just kind of discounted, and said, oh, that's just all bullshit.
Yeah, I like the thing about how you were saying, like, it's different. It's like a different brain, like your womb. So I'm thinking of how, you talk about, listen to your heart, listen to your brain, maybe something around like listen to the womb, like that kind of thread.
It could be the second brain.
Yeah, something like, another part that you're listening to, like thinking through the womb, or being guided through that womb of wisdom.
I like that. Now we're starting to come up with words. I like the fact about the ancient knowings.
What about something like the secrets of the womb? Not many people have talked about this. We're only just moving into this culture now, where in my day, we didn't even know we had one.
Yes.
So true.
And now I'm nearly 100. I rent it out for weddings and parties. I don't use it anymore. So there's a lot of secrets about it, Not many women actually know what it's for. I mean, those of us who are in the medical business understand it, but the average Doris doesn't understand it. So perhaps it could make it a little bit mysterious about the secrets of the womb.
The secrets of the womb, the ancient secrets of the womb.
Ancient secrets of the womb.
Now, can you see how juicy this is getting? The ancient secrets of the womb. So guys, it's important for us to all participate in this brainstorming, because when we are in a group, this is why I like group coaching, and use this when you create your own businesses. There is power in the collective. It's when lots of minds come together and share ideas, because there could be someone else in this room right now who hasn't even got a clear idea. And just by listening to us brainstorming for Tashini, you get some inspiration in terms of your content as well. So beautiful. I really love that. How does that feel for you, Tashini? Because it has to resonate with you as well.
Oh, I love the ancient secrets of the womb.
Yeah.
I feel like that feels really, because it's so much more than, and especially because my talk talks about things that people have never heard of before.
Yes.
Really different dimensions within the womb as well. So yeah.
I'm excited to listen to your talk.
Yeah, wait until you see her in action. She has all this stuff she does. It's just amazing. And maybe at the end of our session, Tashini, you could do something for us before we leave.
An activation.
Yeah, and activation. So what all
She's
she,
not gonna do activation.
everything that she does is centered around the vibration of sound and sound healing as well. There's so much you can learn from this woman. So maybe just to tie up today. Yeah, I can't wait to see you in action this week. Awesome. Okay, who else? Who else wants to brainstorm your title? Yes.
Can I share mine?
Yeah, sure.
So I've got two, and I'd love to hear your feedback. The first one is growing through, how to turn challenges into opportunities. The second one is growing through, how living authentically changed my life.
Nice.
I like the second one.
Can you tell me why?
Well, because it ties also, you know, how it changed your life. That kind of makes me interested, like, ooh, so what did happen in your life? Like, what was going on there, you know?
I kind of feel because I know your story, I feel there's something missing, and you know why.
Can you say that again?
Because I know your story, I feel something is missing.
From the title?
From the title.
Oh.
Based on the essence of what I understand of your story, there's so much more there.
Okay.
And what's missing is your point of difference, your edge, and you're not putting it in the title.
You mean like the intersectionality part of it?
Yes. And okay, let's
I'm
do
lost
this
now. Sorry.
Okay, let's do this. Tell people your story in 3 minutes.
Born and brought up in India. I was told that basically how I was wrong, and I shouldn't live my life the way I was, that I should be put into a box and fit a mold, that how all Indian women are. That wasn't me, and it took me a long time through self-discovery to find out who I was, to find my true self and be able to be happy and confident in authentically living my life. In doing that, it changed my perspective, my outlook. It changed my trajectory to where I am, to meet my partner. My partner then went on to have a serious motorbike accident.
Hold on. I'm going to stop you right there. You are taking us round and round.
I'll start again.
Start again. Because you're doing exactly what Linda did. And she kind of left us hanging. And we're like, so who is your partner? Well, you know, start again.
All right. 9th of August, 2011 was the time that my life completely changed. It was a day that I made a decision to no longer live a lie and to live the best life I could possibly live by being my authentic self. Is that better?
Better, which is?
Oh, it's so hard to do this impromptu. I need another a round of trial and error to fix this up.
You could be standing in front of somebody who organizes a TED Talk, or go and tell someone who organizes a TED Talk. So the quicker you can get to who you are, the better.
Can you tell me which part you were wanting? Because now I'm so lost about which part you wanted me to put in.
Okay. Can anybody?
Can I say? I just want to find out who the real her is. Who's the real Nerissa? Because she says she decided to be herself, to live her best life. What is that? And
what is that?
I just want to know. Yeah.
I decided to come out. I identify as a gay woman of color, and I decided to come out and tell my parents that, tell my family that in India and all of my friends, and make a decision to live a true version of myself.
Beautiful. So if we can get you, you know, that the last little bit you did, and then add that straight to the point. You know, you exemplify courage, strength. I mean, to go against your culture, to go against your parents, you have gone against so many things to get to this point. And what I see is this strong, confident woman who says, this is who I am. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't apologize. Like me or leave me. So that's the strength I want you to bring out, because imagine if there is a young woman in the audience who comes from your culture, who is going through exactly what you went through your whole life. You're going to change somebody's life who's listening. That's why we do what we do. That's why we get on TED, to give other people permission to be themselves. So
I was just wondering, because just with my target audience being women of color over the age of 30, I didn't know that if I, if I'm talking about kind of being your true self and identifying that, and if I said, like I'm gay, am I narrowing down then that?
No, you're not.
Okay.
Because what it means is like any woman of color who's in that room, your gayness is a part of you. It's not the whole of you.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the whole of you. That's just a part of who you are.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's not the focus.
Yeah.
That is not the focus. But what makes it brilliant is that you're showing up as this person. And you're saying, I'm gay, I'm brown, I'm strong, and this is what I've done with my life. You're a package deal. It's not the only thing that defines you.
Yeah, thank you. That's really clarifying, because I was just wondering, because that's how I wanted to present it, but I was worried that if I did, I was kind of narrowing it down. But it's good to get your feedback and understand that that's actually the clarifying point of difference.
So unless you want to focus on it, then that could be, but that's not your focus.
No, my focus is very much going, this is what my life was, but what I've turned it out to be. Therefore, whatever struggles you're going through, whatever it is that other people identify with through being women of color, that they can overcome it, they can step outside the box, they give other people the voice to be able to do and be themselves in whatever shape or form that might be.
It's almost as if you give people permission to be themselves.
Yeah, I had another title, but I don't know if it's too long.
Okay, tell us.
Growing through. When we are true to ourselves, we instinctively inspire others to do the same.
Bit too wordy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's a bit too long.
How about something like growing out of the box or growing out of the mold? Because that's what I got initially out of that story, when, you've got certain expectations from your parents and your family.
Oh, I like the breaking the mold.
Growing out of the box is nice. That's juicy. You see, now I was saying you guys need to share what you're doing, because there's someone here who will hear it with a different combination of words, help you shorten it and make it to the point. Growing out of the box, you did talk about your culture and how even women in African cultures, we're put in these boxes where we should belong and we should conform to those boxes. Yeah. Very nice, Brenda. Thank you.
Photo of something, because I actually, I have like an Indian client right now. I just thought like she needs to hear your story, because her family, her culture just makes her like, nah, you got to do this. And it's just like, so many people need to hear this. Like,
just be you.
Thank you. That's really empowering. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, who's next? Ruth, what's your title?
My title is I Am Woman.
Yes, and so?
Hear me roar.
So am I.
So I wanted to say to Tashini, woman, the womb and woman, the reason why we were given, it's actually very true that there are secrets in the Asian secrets in the womb, because the womb is a holding. It's like a safe, it's like a cave, where you can deposit things. And I really believe that God has deposited so much into us as women because of this womb, because we can carry the secrets through the ages. And so I'm very excited about, I want to see what you do with it. But anyway, back to my title. Okay, so when you are born in my culture, in the African culture, you are born as so and so's daughter. When you get married, you become so and so's wife. When you have children, you become so and so's mother. So your identity tends to get lost in the different roles that you have as a woman in your life, depending on the timeline of your life. And now, the essence of my story is in the different roles. Do not lose your identity. Keep your voice, or if your voice is muffled, you need to learn to speak out and stand out. And just be who you really, really are. Yes, I am a mother. Yes, I'm a wife. Yes, I'm a daughter. But I'm also my own individual. I am Ruth. And what is Ruth all about? So I don't know how I'm going to capture that in the 15 minutes.
Okay, so again, because I know your personal story, that leaves me cold. Completely cold. I know what you've gone through, Ruth, and I know it's difficult to talk about, but I'll tell you, the more you talk about it, the stronger you're going to get. It's like, you know, when Mom died, I couldn't talk about it. And you were with me when my father died. But the more I talked about it, the stronger I've been feeling. And it's in the talking about it that I'm healing. So tell us your story. I want you just to get everybody who's in this room to get to know who Ruth is before we leave. And go right to that day.
Okay. September 15th, 2001. It's 4 days before my 29th birthday and 5 days after my son's 4th birthday, when I received a call that my husband had died. So at 29, I found myself widowed in an African society, very patriarchal system, and having to face the future of raising a young boy and take him through life on my own. The treatment at my late husband's family was terrible, but after burying my husband, I made a decision that I was going to help every person that I could, especially the widows, to find their voice, to empower them, to help them skilled so that they could be economically independent of the extended family and be able to make their own decisions. Because when you are economically disempowered, you can't make decisions. Decisions are made on your behalf. So my journey has been healing, the healing that I've gone through, the empowering of other young widows or even older widows that had no economic sources of income and they couldn't do things on their own in terms of providing for their families, and getting them to get into projects, whether it's gardening, whether it's sewing, whatever, they use their hands, use whatever skills they have to make a living for them and their children.
Okay, so this week you have 15 minutes to tell the story. You've done that in 3, so it's going to be a long time. And I love the way you started it, and you started on that day. I think you can add the fact that you were traveling, you were going overseas, you were in transit, were you not, when you got the call?
Yes, I was in Johannesburg on my way to the United States.
So Ruth and I left Zimbabwe at almost the same time. She was on her way to America, planning to forge a life in a new country for her husband and her kids. And she's in transit on the way to the United States and gets the call. So that's an important thing to talk about. And you come back home, you're in shock. You have no idea what's happening. People are blaming you for your husband's death. You know, you need to talk about these things, Ruth.
Okay.
You have to talk about it. You were in shock. People are saying that you caused this death for what reason? And what normally happens with widows in Zimbabwe is the extended family swoop in. Your husband's family will come and take the property. They take control of the funeral. You don't have a say in anything. Some women even lose their children.
Yes.
Before your husband is buried, you're fighting to keep your child. And then the stigma that comes with it afterwards, you know, especially for young widows. Ruth was, how old were you?
29.
She was a young woman. And it carries for years. People point at you, that girl whose husband died, like you were responsible for taking somebody's life. So everything you went through, Ruth, wasn't for no reason. And I know your work. I've seen you in action. I've seen the things that you do to empower women in Zimbabwe. Then you talk about why you do your work after you've given us that personal experience. So I would say set up your presentation with the first 5 minutes telling that personal story. What happened in September? What happened when you came home? What happened during the funeral? What happened after the funeral? And how you've managed to continue your life. And then in the next 15 minutes, your work, how you became an advocate to stand for young widows, for women who've lost their husbands in Zimbabwe, and what that entails, the cooperatives we've been setting up in Zimbabwe. And then at the end is the call to action. And I think all of you need to remember this. The last part of your speech should be the resolution. You're now talking to the person who's in the audience, who's going through a similar experience. And you're saying, listen, this is what I did for me. These are 5 action steps you can take. These are 3 things you can do right now to help you get out of this situation. So if you're talking about an eating disorder, Sophia, this is what I did. I got to a point where I had to change something. And I did A, B, C, D. That's your call to action. People in the audience need to take away, how do I move my life forward? And that's how your idea spreads, when you can give somebody practical 3 steps that they can take when they hear you speak. Kelly, you talk about recovering physically, mentally, psychologically. What makes you wake up in the morning? You were told you would never talk again, you would never walk again, you wouldn't do anything, and you're writing a book right now. You know, so that inner strength that you had, you have to transfer that to somebody who's in the audience. There's going to be somebody who comes with a relative who's ill, and they'll go home and say, I met the most amazing young woman. This is what she talked about. You need to watch this TED Talk. So that person who you are talking to might not be in the room, but there could be a mom or a father who's got a daughter who's just had a car crash.
Yeah.
And they hear your story. Does that make sense? Thank you for sharing, Ruth. I know it's not easy, but the more you bare your soul, the more you can connect with people. Just speak from your heart. I know you can do it. So we've got 2 more people. Let's go. Who's ready? Brenda or Timbani, who wants to start?
I don't mind going first. I just want to say to Ruth, my word, people need to hear your story the way you just said it. It's so touching. It's also empowering, because a lot of things go about in Zimbabwe, things that we can't talk about. I was married, but it's very un-African, maybe here in Zimbabwe, to admit that you've got problems, to say you're getting beaten up or you're not getting along and you want to get out. There are people to think about. I remember my mom saying, what will people say? But it wasn't about people, it was about my experience. And then I remember thinking, how am I going to stand in front of my peers and say, how will I say that I failed in my marriage? What kind of person am I? Because it reflects badly on you as a person, on your parents too. Maybe they did something wrong in bringing you up. It also, well, I also want to say to Nerissa, it's very brave to speak up. Just have people accept you as who you are, because it's not easy to come out, to talk about who you really are and have people accept you. It's very brave. I'm really touched. I just want to say that my story, my title is Phenomenal, a Woman Empowered. It's my journey. With my kids, I was married. Now I'm not. Why did I leave? I give reasons. There was violence, emotional and physical abuse. Some things I couldn't show people. They hurt. They stuck with me. The words, I lost confidence. I could not take care of my family. I had to accept the fact that things were not working well. I had to work harder than my friends, than most women, trying to make ends meet. I put myself back through school, university, so I could be someone. I had to accept that I was failing to make it with my kids. I took them to my parents to finish school, but I had to work full-time while I was also learning full-time. And it's also a call to other women to uplift each other, because we seem to be the ones that pull each other down the most. That's what my story really is about, but it also is a celebration of the men and women who helped me to leave my situation, to aim to do better. It's also about me choosing not to look down on myself, because I used to do that a lot. Occasionally I do so, but I remember where I was, and then I remember not to be too hard on myself. I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't decided to stop being hard on myself, if there hadn't been supportive women. I've also had talks with you, Gertrude and Ruth too, and you know, your journeys are inspiring, and I'm listening to people also now who've been through a lot, but who've managed to accept their situations or rise above them. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about. And
all right. So tell us again the title. Let's just get from the room if the title is going to be effective.
It's Phenomenal, a Woman Empowered. How I'm no longer that person who used to feel sorry for themselves, who used to let people tread on them. I've become a remarkable woman because of what I've been through and what I decided I did not want to accept anymore in my life. So my title is Phenomenal, a Woman Empowered.
Okay. What do you guys think of the title?
I think phenomenal needs to be something a bit more like unbridled, or, I mean, I kind of feel like you're in a straight, excuse me, a straight jacket, like you're in confinement before, but free, like you've emotional, physical abuse situation, and you're feeling empowered. So I think phenomenal doesn't ring to the personal story. I don't know if that makes sense.
Almost like you need a word like liberation or something.
Oh God, I was going to say the same thing, Tashini. Liberated was just on my mind. Yeah.
Liberated. Anyone else?
Liberated.
Yeah, because the phenomenal part could be the subtitle, but the beginning has to talk to the personal story. That's what I'm getting as well.
About, you know, breaking out or something.
Breaking free.
Something about, like, if you say, you know, like unliberating, like if you take the word liberated but put it like in a different way to kind of, you know, maybe like portray that you're breaking free or letting loose, or
Emancipation.
Unshackled, emancipated.
Oh, I like unshackled.
Unshackled is nice.
Yes,
Unshackled
that's what
is very nice.
Something like that. Strapping out, getting out of
Cultural
the...
unshackling.
Ooh. Ooh. So
Because
you can, I can see the picture, the cover, the book cover, like, you know, the chains are broken.
You've got a book now.
you've got a book, yes. Because your unshackling is on so many levels, Tembani. It's cultural, it's social, it's feminist. You broke so many chains, and mostly the chain of your own mind.
What about unshackled, breaking the chains that bind?
Unshackled, breaking the chains that bound me.
That bound me.
Nice.
Even like shackles to
I'm
freedom.
noting this down. I'm excited. We've created a new title together. So beautiful.
I'm going to email you all the recording once it's processed so you guys can listen back to this. But can you
Right.
see how effective it is when you have other people listening to your story and brainstorming? You get clarity,
Absolutely.
the different perspectives, because we are potential readers of your book. We're potential listeners to your presentation. So this is
I
good
say it's
stuff.
so wonderful to have women give feedback to women
Mm.
in a safe
Yeah.
environment. I think that in itself is very empowering.
Yeah, there is something about group coaching because we're all moving towards the same goal. We're all wanting to have our voices heard. And so this space is sacred in that sense. I'm glad you picked up on that. So Shambani, I think you've got a few little things to think about. You've got a few more words to
Definitely.
play
And I'm
with.
excited. I'm excited. Thank you. I'm excited.
Awesome. Right, Brenda, you're the last one. We've gone over time, but I'm excited and juiced. So
Okay,
what's
so
your title?
trying to clarify. I'm still trying to clarify my title because I think I've got a number of things happening, but maybe I'll say unprecedented pivoting, what COVID-19 can teach us about increasing women in male-dominated industries. I think that title sounds good, but my personal story, let me just probably start from before because my 2-minute pitch probably didn't nail it, didn't hit the mark. So I'm a chemical engineer from Zimbabwe. I came to Australia and have worked in male-dominated industries, particularly in remote mining towns. And what I found was that there wasn't enough women, both at the mines and in positions of leadership, to show me a pipeline. So my mission in life is to inspire girls to get into engineering and empower women to stay. My own story has shown me that we often do not get the high visibility, mission critical roles. I didn't know how to speak up. I didn't know how to demonstrate my value. And I think this can be a lot of us at any point in our lives. And my personal story has showed me that I can identify barriers, that strengths, and leverage those strengths. Practice in a safe environment. So mentoring and having a community of women has helped me immensely. And then building my brand, learning how to embrace and build my reputation capital to not only gain trust from my peers, but move up in the organization.
Nice.
So,
very nice.
So my original title has got nothing to do with that. But I kind of felt like COVID-19 taught us that when an agenda is so urgent and pressing, people can move very quickly. It was unprecedented. We didn't know what to do. But when we were tasked with saving lives or protecting the world, essentially, however you want to package that, people moved into action very quickly. What that tells me is that we don't value what women can bring to the table in an engineering or male-dominated industry environment enough to do something quickly about it. Mm-hmm. So my idea with spreading is, let's put women in these roles and let them learn how to get, how to navigate those waters.
Well, New Zealand is a clear example, isn't it?
Oh, yes. We need more women in positions of power. Okay, so go back to the title again. Let me just think this through.
Unprecedented pivoting, what COVID-19 can teach us about increasing women in male-dominated industries. It's too long.
It is too long. I like the word pivoting because you're turning things upside down and on their heads.
Okay.
Can you use the pivoting with the turning of the women, like bring that at the front and then kind of put the lessons learned from COVID at the back? Because I think the first bit sounds more COVID-y rather than what your actual story is about in terms of bringing women to the forefront.
So put that into words, Narissa.
So sorry to do that. Something about, when you talk about something like pivoting women in leadership as the start, or putting women at the forefront. The lessons COVID taught us, like put the women in the front and then the COVID bit at the back.
Oh, okay. Lessons learned from COVID. Yeah.
Like,
by a female chemical engineer.
Oh.
I think that's important to note.
Okay.
So say it out loud. Whatever words you have right now, because there's so many words running in my head.
I've got pivoting women in leadership, lessons learned from COVID by a female chemical engineer.
Yes. That's
Is women in leadership
Could
strong
even
enough?
put it as, like you've got lessons learned by, like, you can say, put your title first, like a female chemical engineer's lessons learned, or something like that.
Could you, Brenda, is it important to you to get the COVID thing out? Because it'll come and it'll go.
Yeah.
Your story is
it's not really
about
critical.
something that you could use in university training or teachers training or any technical college or to train women in this industry. And, but you can mention the COVID later.
That's an important thing, May Rose, because you want to try and make your presentation evergreen.
Yeah.
If it's too tied to COVID, it's going to limit your content to what's happening now. You want people to watch this 10 years from now when COVID is over. So you can mention COVID in the speech, but don't make it a major thing.
What's with women in power and something with disasters? Or how women in power like turn things around in disasters?
I was thinking something like navigating something, a female chemical engineer's lessons learned, or I don't know.
I couldn't think of anything more horrifying than pivoting into a man's world, darling, in engineering.
There's your title, pivoting into a man's world.
That's what I thought.
Lessons learned by a female chemical engineer. Pivoting in a man's world.
Excellent.
Thank you.
That's fantastic, May. Pivoting into a man's world.
Pivoting into a man's world. Wow. You girls are hot. You girls are really onto it tonight. I love this, but can you see the power of group coaching? Of working with people in groups. We've been feeding off each other's energy, feeding off each other's ideas. You come out after you watch this, you're not saying you have to take the titles we've given you, but now you've got more to work with. Does that make sense?
It does. Gertrude, on a side note, I was thinking that if I were to speak to my younger self, probably 20 or 25-year-old me, I would say, ask for help. If I had asked for help at the different stages of my life, when I couldn't do things, I'm sure I could have advanced my life faster. So definitely, I like the group setting. That's where I'm coming back to. That working in a group, because you really share ideas and you ask for help.
It's awesome. So we're connected now. We're going to create a Facebook group through Ruth. As you know, I've been kicked off Facebook. And we'll also create a Facebook group through WhatsApp. So if you put your telephone numbers in the chat, so we can stay connected as a group, both on Facebook and WhatsApp. So when you create the group, I'll give you all the emails, chuck everybody in there. And when you record yourself speaking, post your presentations in the groups. Let's get feedback from each other between now and when you do your TED Talk. So I'll share this video. I will share my TED Talk application document. And anybody who said they didn't get it, I will email it to you again. And then next time we meet, this is going to be different, but you're going to get the first module videos for the Speaking from the Heart. Those of you who've registered to write a book, you have some homework to do. I need you to schedule an appointment, a 1-hour appointment with me, so we can go through your branding before we go on to the digital course. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful connecting with you, everybody. Next time we'll stick to an hour. Today was the first day. I just wanted everybody to get to know each other, but we'll move at a much quicker pace and stick to time. So our next meeting will be in 2 weeks' time, same time. And if you miss the Sunday meeting, Saturday evening, I do another one tomorrow at 1 p.m. New Zealand time. It's the same thing, but just in case, you've got those two options.
Sorry, Gertrude, can I say the session with us 10 people is on the fortnight? So is the one with Alex on the next Saturday?
So the one with Alex is next Saturday.
Okay.
And if you can't make it, it's recorded. You will get the recording.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What time is it with Alex on Saturday?
I'll have to email you because he said the 7th, but I'm not sure if it's our 8th or his 7th. He's in California, so I need to work out the time difference. Okay. I'll email that to you when I email everything else. Thank you, ladies. Wonderful evening. Great to be doing this with you. Start thinking about your first 10 clients. Who are those people that you know already? We've already identified that in the room. Linda's got someone for Narissa. You never know who else has got somebody for somebody else. Let's bring that to the fore. And Tashini, I know a lot of women who are struggling with fertility stuff.
Is she not going to do the activation?
Ah, yes. Let's do the activation to finish off. Thank you.
Sure can. All right. So do you want to say anything else before we start?
No, I'm good. I'll email you guys everything else. Lovely seeing you guys.
Okay, amazing.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right.
Did you want to all mute yourselves so it doesn't like go weird? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, amazing. So what I'm going to do is just a little activation. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of someone speaking light languages. Not if it's a yes, no, yeah. So these types of languages, I had a very big spiritual awakening where it allowed me to see inside people's bodies. And what I realized was these tones and frequencies that I speak through language can activate your body in a way that can actually start to reprogram the cells in the DNA of your system. So what I'm going to do is just a little one where we can just get grounded in our womb and get connected to our womb energy. So all I want you all to do is just place your hands down towards your womb and just if you're wearing shoes, just take them off so you can just be grounded on the floors with your feet and just get connected. And it'll just get you centered with Mother Earth. All right. So Ruth, if you want, do you want to just take off your glasses as well? Yeah, glasses sometimes when you're doing energy work can block your third eye, can actually block you. So it's a really good way just to really connect inwards. So all I want you to do is just place your hands on your belly and we're just going to get you, all of you, just to take 3 really deep breaths into your pelvic area and sigh it out. So with your breath out, sigh it out, make a sound. Okay, so all right, and we're going to begin now. So you're just going to close your eyes and you're going to hear and listen to the sounds that I create with my voice. Just feeling into those vibrations, or if you receive any sensations. First, I just want you to imagine a nice, beautiful golden thread moving from the center of your womb all the way down into the ground, moving down into Mother Earth, connecting with the crystalline grid of the earth, allowing you to feel safe and secure with every breath in and out. As we connect now, let's begin. Swami Anivara Magani Omi Anaraigani Ami 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 Ani Swangaroya Ami Roami Just allowing that energy to flow down your legs, grounding you, grounding you. Wama mi ami ami are mi Nirangana Narem Nalerem Nirangara Saleram Ningararam Darem Deram Verangararam Dalaroyani Nuram Giraram Dalaram Nirangararem Dara Viralare Rangira Moranare Swamalare Ramna Viraya Mera Ganeram Deleram Dirum Daraye Swamelare Vanerangarem Naram Deleram Diram Derave Swaram Giraram Daleram Diram Garam Doram Deraye Nahani Swalaram Devaraya Mirayanaye Yaraye 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 Iravenangaravara Salirena Maruera allowing you to just come back into your body now. When you're ready, you can open up your eyes. How did that feel for all of you?
Wow. How do you put that into a book?
Question. There is a way, actually.
Wow.
So, Tatini's ebook, I've created this. It's a system where, you know how you can read an electronic magazine online? When you buy her physical book, you get a link to the electronic version of the book. And as you are flipping through the pages, we are going to have embedded videos of her taking people through different processes. So it's not a static book, it's an interactive book that has some of her modalities in there as well. We're currently working on her book right now. I'm really excited about it.
I'm going to have like a symbol, so an activation. So I was downloaded with all these symbols to open up women's wombs and their hearts. And this is one of them. So it's Devarani Putti, and I've created like a mantra, but I'm going to have the symbol actually like through the book. So it'll be something that'll be quite activating for people as well. Yeah. So it's exciting.
Thank you, everybody. I will see you in 2 weeks' time, but next week with Alex. And if you have any questions, email them to me. You have an email every week. So Don't fire emails every day. Just hold on to the thought. Send me one email with everything that you're experiencing that week, and I'll respond with video emails or text. And Ruth is going to send out all the missing pieces. Those of you who didn't get the TED Talk application document, you'll get that. And just start working through that, getting clear, what is my idea, so that by the time we meet next, we're going to the next part of the course. All right, have a fantastic evening, weekend. Those of you who are speaking at the Women's Expo, again, Ruth is going to share the links to that website if you guys want to come in and listen and be inspired. I chose 21 women who are going to be speaking with us on this platform. We are reaching an audience of 40,000 people. It's based in LA. So it's starting tomorrow. So Timbani, you are speaking after me. Who else do we have tomorrow? It's you, me, and no, not Linda. Janice. Janice is coming from Las Vegas, and Jennifer is based in the UK. So I have 4 speakers a day, and I'll email out the schedule as well, so you guys can tune in and be a part of it.
Thank you. It'd be lovely to listen.
And there's going to be another opportunity to speak at this expo. They're having another event for Dallas in October. So I'll email you the details if you're interested in working towards your TED Talk and using it on this platform. Definitely you guys can be involved in that as well. Have a fantastic evening, ladies. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Gertrude. Thank you, ladies. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.